Today's my lecture topic is battery capacity. The capacity of a battery is measured in ampere hours. The ampere hour capacity is equal to the product of the current in amperes and the time in hours during which the battery is supplying current. The ampere hour capacity varies inversely with the discharge current. The size of a cell is determined generally by its ampere hour capacity. Capacity of a cell depends upon many factors, the most important of which are as follows: the area of the plates in contact with the electrolyte, the quantity and the specific gravity of the electrolyte, the type of separators, the general condition of the battery, final limiting voltage. Next one is battery ratings. The battery ratings were developed by the Society of Automotive Engineers, that is SAE, and the Battery Council International, BCAE. They are set according to national test standards for battery performance. They let the mechanic compare the cranking power of one battery to another. The two methods of rating lead acid storage batteries are the cold cranking rating and the reserve capacity rating. Cold cranking rating. The cold cranking rating determines how much current in amperes the battery can deliver for 30 seconds at 0 degree Fahrenheit while maintaining terminal voltage of 7.2 volts or 1.2 volts per cell. This rating indicates the ability of the battery to crank a specific engine at a specific temperature. For example, one manufacturer recommends a battery with 305 cold cranking amps for a small 4-cylinder engine, at a 450 cold cranking amp battery for a larger V8 engine. A more powerful battery is needed to handle the heavier starter current draw of a larger engine. Next one is reserve capacity rating. The reserve capacity rating is the time needed to lower battery terminal voltage below 10.2 volt at a discharge rate of 25 amps. This is with the battery fully charged and at 80 degree Fahrenheit. Reserve capacity will appear on the battery as a time interval in minutes. For example, if a battery is rated at 90 minutes and the charging system fails, the operator has approximately 90 minutes of driving time under minimum electrical load before the battery goes completely dead. Next one is battery charging. Under normal condition, a hydrometer reading below 1.240 specific gravity at 80 degree Fahrenheit is a warning signal that the battery should be removed and charged. Except in extremely warm climates, never allow the specific gravity to drop below 1.225 in tropical climates. This reading indicates a fully charged battery. When a rundown battery is brought into the shop, you should recharge it immediately. There are several methods for charging batteries. Only direct current is used with each method. If only alternating current is available, a rectifier or motor generator must be used to convert to direct current. The two principal methods of charging are constant current and constant voltage. Constant current charging is being used on a single battery or a number of batteries in series. Constant voltage charging is used with the batteries connected in parallel. A parallel circuit has more than one path between the two source terminals. The series circuit is constant current charging. With the constant current method, the battery is connected to a charging device that supplies a steady flow of current. The charging device has a rectifier, thus the alternating current is charged into the direct current. A rheostat of some kind is usually built into the charger so that we can adjust the amount of current flow to the battery.